Earning money from the stock market is very easy. You can easily earn money, that is by trading. I taught you about trading. You can easily learn, you can learn about the technical analysis what I taught you, and you can easily do trading. But what if you're doing any kind of job, or what if you are already getting good amount of income from any other source? What if you want to use stock market as a means of saving your money, or you want to grow your money by saving it for long term, or you want to invest, you want it as an investment source rather than trading? So for that, you must know the companies, the fundamentals of the companies, whether which company is good and which company shares to buy. For that, you need to learn something called as fundamental analysis. So as I told you, I will be teaching you the whole stock market course, which covers the technical and fundamental analysis both. We have covered the technical analysis part. Now let's study about the fundamental analysis. So fundamental analysis means analyzing the company's fundamentals. So there are different types of shares, right? Like Tata Motors, there is HDFC, many. There are variety of shares. So studying the fundamentals of the company, whether the company shares are good for long term. Like now you know that EV market is going up because there is demand for electric vehicles. It is increasing because of the high prices of petrol. The demand for electric vehicles is increasing, and electric vehicles are going, it has a good future, right? So studying which company's fundamentals are strong, which company manufactures the good electric vehicles, and whether the company has started with all the numbers basic, whether the company has any loans, and all the studies of the companies, the basics of the study company, how the company is functioning basically. That is called fundamental analysis. It's very simple, not very complicated. Once if you understand, though there are going to be a lot of mathematics involved, lot of formulas involved, unlike technical analysis where you had to study only graph. Here you will have formulas involved, and you will have a variety of mathematical problems to solve. But I will make sure that it is easy for you. After following the course, what I'm going to teach you, the fundamental analysis, here I will make sure that everything is clearly understood by you, and rather than by hearting the formulas, you will be understanding each and every concept. So let's go ahead now, and let's study about the types of participants that I have already taught you. There is someone called as trader and an investor. Trader tracks the company's price movement, the price moving up, down. That is a graph basically. The trader tracks the graph. Next, we have the investor. Investor tracks the company's business. So the work of the investor is he is concerned about the long term future of the company. Whether the company, he considers the company as a part of him, like his business. So he is concerned about, he's investing money in the company, not for short term period. He's not going to withdraw the money in 2 3 days or today in a day. He wants long term profits from the company. He wants it as a source of investment, the companies. So he is called as an investor. So for an investor, he tracks the company's business rather than the company's shares, here price movement rather than the graph. The investor tracks the company's business, whether the business is going to go have, whether the business has a future, whether the business idea, the business model, everything is good. So that is called an investor. Now, let me tell you the definition of fundamental analysis. It is a method of assessing the intrinsic value of a stock. So, basically, we know the real value of the stock. It combines financial statements, external influences. So, financial statements of the company, you will be studying what is that. So, financial statement means whatever the company is doing the business, right? Dealing the profit loss, all the statements, the buying, like you have in a bank, like that. So that is called the financial statement. And you have external influences, whether what external factors are affecting the company, the events, industry trends. Like I told you, EV market is trending, so that is the industry trends. Like that, you track the trends. So all that, accessing all this information is called the fundamental analysis. In fundamental analysis, you predict the price of the share. So what has to be the actual price of the share? Not because of the demand and the supply, but you can guess what the share price must actually be. If it is available for cheap, then you buy it. So for example, a share is listed for 100 rupees because of its low demand, or because of the more supply, whatever, the price of the share is less. So now, but according to your analysis, after learning the fundamental analysis course, you analyze the company share, and you feel that the company has a very good potential. The share price must actually be 1000, but it is available for 100 because no one else knows. Because before the people realize its real value, you have understood the fundamentals of the company and you plan to buy the share. Now the share price starts to increase because you're investing in long term, right? So it takes time for the people to really know, for the demand to increase. So if you know fundamental analysis, you can be the first person to know the company's strength and then buy the share soon before the demand increases. Then you make a good profit, and from the company's profits, if the company earns a lot of profit, the price of the share increases, all that factors. So you can easily predict, guess how good a company is, how strong a company is. So basically, finding the strength of the company is fundamental analysis rather than the strength of the demand, supply, the graph, the moment. Rather than all that, finding the actual strength of the company is the fundamental analysis. Studying the fundamentals of the company like business, profit, and predicting its future growth. That is fundamental analysis. It helps to identify key attributes and analyze company's actual worth. As I told you, by using those factors, you find the actual worth of the company. Though the company is listed for 100 rupees, you know that its actual worth is more. So that is by taking macro and microeconomic factors. You consider the various factors, the big and small factors like the PE ratio, all the different types of ratio which I will be teaching you. You don't have to worry. So basically, now what you must understand is fundamental analysis is actually finding the strength of the company. That is basically the definition. Finding how good a company is going to do in the future, how good, how strong a company is. So that is called fundamental analysis. Now we have two types of fundamental analysis: qualitative fundamental analysis and quantitative fundamental analysis. Qualitative fundamental analysis is like finding the quality of the company, its business model. How does the company do its business? Its products. What products does the business give? Like, for example, what all are available in the brand? So, for example, like Reliance has this Geo and different kinds of services they are giving. So, what are the product? What they are actually offering? What services they are giving, or what products they are giving? Like Tata Motors, they make vehicles, so the product is vehicle. So like that, what the product they're giving, studying the product and the services, how good the scope is for the services is called qualitative fundamental analysis. And how good it is from its competitors. That is the main thing, right? For a company to grow, it has to be good from its competitors. It must be able to compete. It must be strong enough. So that studies is called the qualitative fundamental analysis. So it's growth plans, it's research and development, how good the company is doing research and development, because as you know, companies have research and development team, how good they're researching and inventing new products. Because always there is new products released by most of the companies. Like you might have seen the new phones. Every day there is a new phone. All that involves a lot of R&D, right? Research and development. So how good new types of mobiles the company is making. So studying the product is basically the qualitative fundamental analysis. So products and services. Next you have the quantitative fundamental analysis. In the quantitative fundamental analysis, we study the financial statements. So here we involve basically numbers. In qualitative fundamental analysis, we don't involve numbers. We just know how good the company is, how strong the company is, how good are its growth plan. All these are basic things. But in quantitative fundamental analysis, we study the balance sheet, income statement. So how much is the balance the company has? What is the income the company is getting? And what is the cash flow? How much cash, the movement of the cash in the company? Because as you know, the cash in a company is a very big, right? So there will be a movement of cash in and out and different types of study of that. Then the financial ratios. See, financial statements mean balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow. Financial ratios. So you can study the financial ratio. Financial ratios mean PE ratio, debt to equity ratio, ROE, that is return on equity, ROCE, return on capital employed, return on assets, price to book ratio. All this we will be studying in detail. I will be teaching you both qualitative and fundamental, quantitative fundamental analysis. So these are the two types of fundamental analysis basically. So you can study the future, what is the product the company is giving, the services, the competitors, management, growth plans, and research and development. How good the company is basically, as we tell in words. Then is the quantitative. In quantitative, we study financial statements, financial ratio, and in financial ratio we study return on assets, return on equity, PE ratio, all that. Now these are the types of fundamental analysis. Now we have the importance. For long-term investments, it is important to know the company's qualitative analysis and fundamental analysis. That is qualitative and quantitative. So there is a saying, I heard it. So don't rely on tips. People generally give you tips, right? So that will not give you long-term growth. If you take knowledge from people that which company is good, you will always be in loss because it's always late for the tips to reach. If somebody is telling you EV, buy Tata Motor share, EV is going to be trending, buy that, That is a tip that they are giving you. Buy the share. But that will not give you profit, because before the tip reaches you, it is always very too late. So then the company will start falling. Immediately, if you listen to others' tip, if you start following others' advices, immediately you will fall in loss, because it is too late and the demand will start reducing. People will start selling. So people have already booked the profit by the time you realize its worth. So always rely on fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis has very good importance, because you will be the first one to understand how good the company is, and then you can make a profit. To make a good to become a good investor, of fundamental analysis is very important. To become a good investor, knowledge of fundamental analysis is very important, as I told you, because you don't have to depend on it. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching the video. Now you know the value of fundamental analysis, and hope you start to follow me after this video, after the intro video. I hope you will watch, subscribe to the channel, but be caring. Thank you very much.